Hello, and welcome again to the Untamed Soul Tarot. And we're going to do our weekly reading for the 29th of January through the 4th of February. So I'll go ahead and get these cards shuffled and then we'll get to it. As always, remember that this is a collective reading, may not always resonate with you. If you care to watch it, stick around. If not, maybe we'll catch you next time. Okay, we've pulled our cards and now we're back. So first thing that I notice is that there are 3 major cards for this week ahead reading, which tells me that there are a lot of major life events that could be happening. So the other thing that I'll notice is that along with the 3 major cards, these are very inward type of cards. And the other thing about these cards is that there's a lot of confidence and self-introspection that also is involved with these cards. So the other thing that I will take note of is that the only minors that we have are swords cards. There is no action, there's no wands, there's no emotion, there's no cups, and there's no physical, there's no pentacles. So the first card when we come into the beginning of the week is kind of a card of starting out with going through our own version of balance, of tempering what we need and what we don't need, adding things in slowly, and filtering out what we may not wish to move forward with this week. It's a card of trying to keep our inner and our outer balance amongst all of the things that we do within our lives, a balance of our work and our home, balance of our hobbies and our responsibilities. So you start out with this intention of moving through your week in this manner. We then run into the Knight of Swords, but in reverse. Is your motivation halted? Is your ability to move forward with what you originally expected to halted? What has brought it to a stop? What comes up that now brings you into a moment of saying, ooh, I can't move forward with this? So be mindful that you could have a moment that comes up for you like that very early on in the week. And what is this moment possibly even connected to? When we hit the middle of the week, we see the Ace of Swords, but it's in reverse. Is your mentality going in a direction that you didn't quite expect? Are you putting your value of your own personal value in the hands of what others might think, as opposed to what you may think for yourself? What about coming into this rut of this stopping power has almost made you feel as though you have to halt what you want to do altogether? Has your confidence now fallen because you feel as though it's not the right direction, or you feel as though you can't do it? When we run into these moments of starting out great and then all of a sudden things come to a halt, things become blocked, we move into the Hermit card, which is a card of taking your own counsel, don't always bring yourself into a place of feeling as though you need to follow what everybody else is doing. Take yourself up to the mountainside and consider what you would like to do and how you would like to see things move forward. This is a card of taking yourself into that introspection, stepping back and away, and then taking on your own advice, your own counsel rather than the counsel of others. The next card that we run into for the last card that we run into for the end of the week is the Strength card. And that's such a beautiful card to come in after all of this. You've come in from, I'm going to go through what I need to go through, and then we hit the Strength card. We hit that feeling of feeling empowered, having our own self-empowerment, feeling our own strength to be able to do what we need to do, not needing to rely on others. We have the power of the lion within us without taking the outward ferociousness that a lion may appear to have. We are stepping into our confidence. We are saying, I have made my decision on what I need to do, regardless of what other people may be thinking of me. And now I'm going to continue to move forward with where I was at in the beginning of the week, because I have realized that I no longer need what's the best word here? I no longer need the validation from other people to do what I need to do. Now, we'll look at our oracle cards here and see how they correspond. So the first one we have is the House Mouse. You know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? Which means you know what you are confident of, but are you struggling to lean into actually believing what you know you are capable of and confident enough to do? And that could be relating to that little roadblock that we run into early on in the week. Is we all have these ideas over the weekend on how we're going to move forward with our week and how we want it to look. And we know that we can do it, but yet for some reason, as soon as we hit one little roadblock, one little mix-up, one little thing, all of a sudden we start to question whether or not we actually can move forward. The next oracle card we have is Arts and Crafts. Nothing exists without the essence of spirit. May it be whispers or chants, your energy is what brings life to all that you create. So we're going to place it about here because we need to consider what we're creating, and are we creating it for ourselves or are we creating it for others? Are we creating it in the way that we wish to create it, or are we creating it in how we think other people's would like it to be created? Are we looking for the validation of others when we work through these things? And if we hit one little niggling that somebody might just be lying to our face and saying, oh yeah, it's a great idea, but you really feel that they're maybe even making fun of you silently, and you feel that and you start to wonder, oh, if they don't think it's a good idea, should I do it? This is a card of saying that don't look for the validation of others for what you create. Create what makes you happy instead of worrying about what everybody else is doing. They're creating something different, but they're both happy with what they're creating. So look to be paying attention to you and yourself and do what is making you happy and how you're doing it. And the last one we run into is snowflakes. Every moment is a sacred gift, a blessing you shouldn't take for granted. So now that we've run into this card, we see I love it with the Strength card as another affirmation of take blessing in what you know you can and cannot do. And what you can and cannot do isn't always the same as what somebody else can and cannot do. So I hope you can move forward this week and try to keep as much of this balance as possible. But when roadblocks come in that make you feel as though what other people might be saying or thinking about you and what you would like to create, you start to lose that sense of confidence that you had. Know that you do not need the validation of others. Take those moments to look inward to discover what part of this is what you need and what part of it is what you think other people are expecting of you. Once you can move through that and see that you and you alone are the one that holds the confidence that you need and the ability to move forward, you'll be able to move through these roadblocks without any more hesitation. So harness your own strength this week and realize that whatever you set out to do in the beginning of the week, you can accomplish. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekly reading. If this ended up resonating for you, drop a comment, and once you get through the rest of your week, come back and let me know how your week went, because I'm always happy to hear. I hope everybody has a good rest of the week, and thank you so much for all of those untamed souls that watch my videos.